Well, it seems like coaches getting fired close to the playoffs may be becoming a thing this season as the Denver Nuggets have decided to fire head coach Mike Malone. We're going to talk about it all and more right after this.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
What's going on, basketball fans? Welcome to another episode of NBA Central, your number one spot for everything basketball related. And the Denver Nuggets have made a move. Surprisingly to some, unsurprising apparently to some within the Denver Nuggets organization, the Denver Nuggets have decided to fire their head coach, Mike Malone, a coach that's been there through so much. They've decided to stick with Mike Malone at different time periods where the team was disappointing, injuries to Jamal Murray, things like that. They decided now to move on from their head coach and Mike Malone. This is just weird timing. Right now, if they would have decided to make that decision after a disappointing playoff exit or something like that, I don't think it would have been as surprising. But it's really the timing when it comes down to it, right? You look at the Memphis Grizzlies, who moved on from Taylor Jenkins, a week or so ago, a couple of weeks ago at this point, right before the playoffs. Now, the Denver Nuggets, even close to the last week of the regular season, while they're still in fighting for the playoffs, they're definitely going to make the playoffs. They could fall down to that play-in area, but this is a 47-win team that has decided to fire their head coach at this point in time. Like, it's just the timing on it is the craziest thing about it. Like, I get it. Sometimes coaches run their course with franchises, and you have to make a decision and move on for the betterment of your team. This is a team that, despite the historic season that Nikola Jokic is having, is 22nd in defense. The defense has been god-awful, but he's been the coach there for 10 years, since 2015. And for them to make this decision to move on now is a bit unexpected, right? Like, this is crazy. But Mike Malone is not going to be without a job as long as he does not want to be without a job. This is a guy that can get any NBA job he probably wants that's going to be open this summer. Mike Malone can get that job. This is a guy that you look at the development that they've done with Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., Jamal Murray over that time, right? And this is one of the byproducts, right? With the Nuggets, since their championship win, the fact that they have lost a lot of key role players to that team that did help with the defensive identity of this team, this is kind of where you go. They haven't really replenished those players. Yes, they got Russell Westbrook in there, who has had a solid enough season for the Denver Nuggets, right? Jamal Murray's been hurt. Like I said, Jokic is having a historic NBA season this year. But, in losing the players that the Nuggets lost that were key as far as being in the rotational guys to that championship run, it's really put the team at a deficit, man. And that's really where it stands right now. Like, and it's crazy that you could win a championship and 2 years later, you won the championship in 2023. 2 years later now, you're removed. You're no longer the head coach of that team. And hey, somebody got to be blamed. And that's why sometimes coaches are the scapegoat for failures of your organization. And that's what it feels like Mike Malone is. Not to say that there weren't things he could do better on. There are some rotation concerns and things like that. But, like, this is a team that was propped up because they have a generational player, Nikola Jokic, on their team, right? But the way that Mike Malone has balanced it when he's had a solid enough rotation, things like that, it was great to see, man. And Mike Malone's now going to enter the coaching market this offseason. And I would not be surprised at all if he gets a job as soon as this year. I just would not be surprised of that at all, because that's the level of coach that Mike Malone is. He's definitely a floor raiser. He's definitely a guy that can build a really good coaching staff that knows how to develop players over years and things like that. You don't want to give him some patience and see what he can turn guys into, but it's just crazy when it comes down to it, that this is where the Denver Nuggets are right now, man, and firing their head coach. You look at some players that were on that roster, that championship team, that are now elsewhere. And it's really crazy, man. But hey, that's the way that the cookie crumbles. In basketball, you're only as good as it's a what you've done for me lately thing. And we'll see how this affects Jokic, right? Like, there was an incident on the bench a couple of games ago in which Jokic and Mike Malone seemed to get into a little bit of a back and forth. And maybe that's what's happening here now. Maybe this is a sign of that. I still question this decision and what it's going to do for the team in the long run, but they're going to have to figure it out. They're going to have to make their decision on their next head coach. There's some really good candidates out here. Does Taylor Jenkins now become a candidate for this Denver Nuggets job? a lot of questions out there, right? One of the guys that Wes Unseld Jr., who was a former guy in this Denver Nuggets team, he's been gone, right? He went to the Wizards, and now he's an assistant with the Chicago Bulls. But where the Nuggets take this team this offseason, right? Already an imbalanced roster. They clearly need some defense. They may felt like they needed a new eyes of a head coach. They're going to get an opportunity to get that now, and we'll just see, man. But this is a very unexpected decision. Natty says terrible decision. Agree with you. Agree with you. I don't think. Your follow-up comment. He was never the problem. Mike Malone wasn't the problem here. And that's why I do say it does feel like a scapegoat move, or maybe they just understand the place that they want to go with this roster. It was time for a new set of eyes. Maybe that's the way that they view it. I think it could be like the Celtics, Ime Udoka, more will come out. That's definitely a possibility as well. Great point there. What the F? What the hell is going on? I understand people want to take back the NBA, but goddamn, firing good coaches. I mean, hey, damn, how you get fired on your day off, dog? Lloyd, that is hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. Winton in here says that's wild. Billy got to be the happiest in the world to be with the Bulls. Listen, the job security that Billy Donovan has had with the Chicago Bulls, when you look at some of the coaches that have been fired while he's been the coach there and meandering with the record, is crazy. This must be an Ime situation. It could be. Definitely could be. Never. Can't believe it. I like Mike Malone 100% over Billy Donovan. They fired their GM too? The GM got fired too? Oh, the Nuggets are cleaning house then. The Nuggets are cleaning house. Wait, did the Nuggets fire their GM too? Hold on. Yes, and they're firing Calvin Booth as the GM. Oh yeah, they are completely going a different route with the franchise then. That is crazy. I mean, it's crazy to make this decision right now. That's crazy. Man, that is very, very interesting. Vern says, what the F's going on around the NBA? I have no idea, man. Who's going to die for Billy Donovan's job? Kind of weird conspiracy. Can the Bulls org hire him as an assistant? Listen, Mike Malone isn't going to accept an assistant position, and he shouldn't. Mike Malone is one of the better coaches in the game of basketball, man. I'm not saying he's a perfect coach. He has his flaws as a head coach, as everybody does, right? But he's not. I don't think that Mike Malone is going to accept a assistant job at all. He's going to get a head coaching job as soon as he wants to. What the F? You literally said rebuild right now, especially during the season where the playoffs are going to start. You know it's going to be some bullshit. Hey, this move may signify that the Denver Nuggets, I'm not going to say that they're going to go full rebuild. I don't think they will, nor should they, with Nikola Jokic on their team. But this could mean that maybe even guys like Jamal Murray, who, was drafted by the Denver Nuggets, Mike Malone was been his head coach. Maybe a guy like Jamal Murray could be on the chopping block. Maybe Aaron Gordon, even Michael Porter Jr. We know that we heard that the Nuggets were shopping Michael Porter Jr. at one point in time, and maybe they feel like it's time for a new set of eyes. Maybe Calvin Booth got too close. Got too close to the players on his roster, which is something that we've seen GMs do before, is the fact that they can't separate themselves. And maybe that's what this step is now, man. Maybe this signifies a whole new era for the Denver Nuggets coming into where they want somebody and a new coach. They want a new GM. They want GM and coach alignment to where they're going to do some stuff that really is a really big change with the direction of this franchise. Maybe completely retool around Nikola Jokic and just the makeup of the type of players that they want around Jokic. That could be what's on the menu here and could be what's next up. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case, but that is crazy. The general manager, I bet you they didn't have that on their bingo card when they woke up today. Bulls will hire him. Already got their old front. Oh, I didn't even think about the attachment that AK has. That definitely is something that could be done here. You're not off bases there. Malone has the most wins of any other coaches over the last 5 years, 252. It's really crazy to fire a head coach that has, what does Mike Malone have there? Like a 60% win percentage? A 69% win. Oh, no, that's this season. A 56% win percentage over his career there. And keep in mind, when he came into that, it was a completely different scenario, right? And situation. So, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. If the Nuggets don't win a championship, I won't be surprised if they trade Jokic. Crazy things already happened. What's one more? I mean, you got a point there. I can't stand Malone, but this is a shocker. There's going to be a domino effect of coaches about to be fired. Mike Malone got fired. Wow. Yeah, I mean, you somebody like Mike Malone's fired. I mean, you just never know what could be next. Like this has been a season of really surprising moves between the Mike Malone fire, between the Luka Doncic trade. I feel like the Luka Doncic trade is that canon event, right? You know, like something that opens up the floodgates to a whole bunch of crazy shit happening. That's what the Luka Doncic trade was. It opened up the floodgates of just a whole different way of viewing everything, man. Like it's crazy. It's honestly crazy. Malone won the title 2 years ago. He got Phil Jackson. Well, it's like for the while there, coaches that won Coach of the Year like got fired like 2 years later, something like that. You remember there was like a string of that happening in a row. That's what this kind of feels like again, right? Like it's crazy. Our assistant GM has ties to Malone though too. I'm not ruling out him to Chicago as a possibility. I mean, it's not our assistant GM. Well, I don't know who the assistant GM, but our president of basketball operations definitely does, and Arturas Karnisovas. So definitely could be a possibility there. Now, I still don't think that the Bulls move on. You know what? I'll do a separate Bulls video over on Bulls Central talking about the fallout of this and how it could affect the Chicago Bulls. But hey, this is crazy, and this was definitely unexpected, man. Mike Malone, a guy who's just you look at his Denver career, man. Like throughout everything that team's been on, the minimum number of games that they won was 39. They were only below 500 two times in his career there coaching for the Denver Nuggets. And this is a guy that just, I mean, he's a floor raiser, he's a developer, he's a lot. And yeah, for them to make this type of move really does signify something, a swing and a shift here happening. Wonder if Jokic had anything to do with it. Could be. I mean, I rule nothing out. I would expect a lot of coaches to be on the chopping block at this point. I mean, yeah, it's you look at Mike Malone and Taylor Jenkins both had over 60% win percentages. Like just keep in mind there, right? Not just slightly over 500, not below 500, over 60% win percentages. And they got fired. Like that's crazy, right? Man. But all right, y'all. I appreciate you guys, man. You guys are amazing. I'm going to try to get the guys together. We'll do a Bull Central episode on this and what this could mean for the Chicago Bulls. But this is a shift that nobody was expecting for both Calvin Booth and Mike Malone to get fired a week before the playoffs start. A week before the playoffs start. Like Vern said here, I will not be surprised if some more comes out of this sooner rather than later, because this just feels like the type of move that something has to be done. Something has to be going on behind the scenes here for this move to happen. Something has had to happen, whether it was Jokic, whatever it was, man. There are a lot of good coaches fired so far, man, and that's crazy. Nuggets has 8 consecutive winning seasons under Mike Malone. That's crazy, man. I listen. The one thing in sports is always expect the unexpected. Never be too surprised. Teams decide all it takes is an owner waking up one day and saying, hey, I'm not happy with the direction that this team is going. We got to do something here. And then your whole franchise can be turned over on its head. And that's what it seems like happening right here, right now with the Denver Nuggets, is that the ownership group woke up and realized we need a change here. We got to do something different. Not to say that we've necessarily been bad, but we tasted a title once. We want to get back to having a title. We want to get back and making sure that we're one of those top teams, not just a playoff team. We want to make sure we're one of those top 3 teams in the Western Conference, and we got to do something. So we'll see what the future does hold there, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. You can follow us at NBA Central Pod on every social media platform. You can send us any feedback, questions, comments, concerns, NBA Central Show at gmail.com. And then lastly, if you want to leave a text message and our voicemail for the mailbag, the number to do so, 773-270-2799. We're the number one spot for everything basketball related. And I'll see you guys the next time I feel like making a video. Probably tomorrow. Who knows what may happen at this point in time? Who's going to get fired? You know what? I just thought about something. Mike Malone as the new San Antonio Spurs head coach. Things that make you go, Let me know what you guys think on that in the comment section. Love you guys. Peace, y'all.
This has been a presentation of the